video, I'm going to be talking about how you know when your team is disengaged. I love being outdoors in the nature and spontaneously exploring new territories and any type of adventures, including theme parks. We're very fortunate to have quite a selection of recreational facilities in the UAE, including some award-winning theme parks. And so I recently decided to visit an amusement park, which left me unpleasantly unamused. Well, people often complain that theme parks are packed with noisy children and that queues are long and that rides are long. I had no such problem. There were 2 people waiting to go in, and once inside, I really couldn't help but notice that there were more employees than actual guests. This was of course really convenient for me because I could just enjoy the rides without having to wait around. And the next thing that really struck me were the emotionless faces of the bored employees. So besides the lack of engagement and motivation and energy, they were also not trained well on many aspects such as food and beverage and upselling their retail products. So from a business point of view, this was a clear disaster in terms of generating revenue, but also for replete clientele. Now, the father of employee engagement, William Kahn, in 1990 said it first: employee engagement is paramount to organizational success. And it got me thinking, was the HR team even aware of how these employees are feeling? What about the senior leadership? Do they speak to their team members? From experience, I knew the answer was no. I really couldn't help but put on my employee engagement hat for the next few hours and analyze the various possibilities as to why there was such apparent employee disengagement in a place where people are meant to be having fun. Of course, we can blame this on the world economy, on the lockdown, on COVID-19, on various rounds of redundancies and furloughs that have taken place worldwide. Most of this is out of our hands. What is in our hands, though, is taking care of our people. When you take a flight, you're instructed to always put your oxygen mask on first, in case of an emergency, and then help those around you. The same can be said for the leadership team of a company. Employees look up to their supervisors, to their managers, to their senior leaders, and we really, as senior leaders, must primarily take care of our own happiness and well-being first in order to help and engage those teams around us. So how do we do that? Let's take a quick look. Sonia Lyubomirsky, a reputable scientist in the field of positive psychology and author of The How of Happiness, recommends several activities that lead to sustainable happiness. The first one is expressing gratitude. Second one is cultivating optimism. Number 3 is avoiding overthinking. The next one is practicing acts of kindness. The 5th is nurturing social relationships. Number 6 is developing strategies for coping. The 7th one is learning to forgive. And the next one is increasing flow experiences. Number 9 is savoring life's joys. The 10th activity is commitment to your goals. And the 11th and last one is taking care of your body and your soul through practicing religion, spirituality, meditation, physical activity, and really simply acting like a happy person. Moreover, Buckinghamshire's 5 favorite ways to well-being, a study grounded from research and developed by Oxford Health NHS Foundation Trust and other specialists on behalf of Buckinghamshire's County Council Public Health team, emphasize that the following are necessary for our well-being: connecting with people, giving, taking notice, learning, and being active. And so back to employee engagement. Of course, sometimes it's easy to spot things as an outsider. And I immediately spotted disengaged employees from a mile away. Here are my practical, low-cost solutions for meaningful and authentic colleague engagement, which are meant for leaders and for HR professionals. I'm going to share them through this video. Let's remember though, first of all, that taking care of our happiness and well-being as leaders comes first. So there's 3 parts to this. The first part is what I call the litmus test approach. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I include in the litmus test approach. The first one is mystery shopping. Regularly ask trusted business people to assess your company and your team's knowledge, their attitude, their levels of engagement and responsiveness through a pre-designed list of guidelines that are aligned with your company values, your KPIs or your key performance indicators, your policies and your procedures. Your leadership team must then work together on the results that they obtain. I recommend to check out Undercover Boss for some inspiration. The second part is a survey. Measure the employee engagement once or twice a year and establish a baseline. What gets measured gets managed. And approach it as a top business goal, of course, to which senior leaders must be held accountable through the completion of their action plans. Another part is focus groups. Depending on the size of your organization, conduct monthly focus groups with various personas. So for example, personas could be employees of the same level. So your frontliners or your team leaders or your supervisors. Another persona could be company tenure, the loyal employees, the ones that have been there for years versus the newcomers. Or for instance, the role and the function within the organization, their marital status, their performance levels, perhaps your top performers versus your underachievers. You will find out that various personas within your company have differences in experiences based on their collective common threads. And act on this information that you receive, ensuring that the employees are aware of the intended or completed changes as per their feedback. One-on-one stay interviews is the last one in the litmus test approach. So instead of conducting exit interviews, when people leave, why not conduct stay interviews before it even gets to resignations? More detailed information can be obtained and actioned way ahead of time. Everyone thinks they're special, so make them think that way, make them feel that way. I would recommend reading Richard Finnegan's, one of his books, or maybe 2 of his books, on stay interviews or the cost of turnover. And pulse surveys. Once information is gathered through the various sources, remember to conduct pulse surveys and establish what people really think about the changes that you've implemented. These can be done monthly or quarterly, or really as often as the changes are made. Now, the second part in the strategy is the engagement strategy pillars. Those are several, and I'm going to discuss them with you now. The first one is internal communications. Have engaging and informative, timely, well-designed and well-written, and most of all, accessible to everyone through companies' channels. That's the type of internal communications you want to have. The rewards and recognition. Reward those who have achieved a certain number of goals, those individuals and personnel that have achieved their departmental goals, their divisional goals, or even the company-wide goals. And create memories for putting them together through well thought out events that are cemented through photographs that employees can put on their fridges or their desks. Another one is social, physical, and mental activities. Create an annual activities calendar that is linked to your organizational values. If one such value is caring for the environment, then why not add some CSR or corporate social responsibility activities? The next part of the pillars of employee engagement is what I'm going to be discussing is learning and development and mentorship. Depending on the budgets, obviously, and the talented in-house specialists perhaps, put together learning targets and encourage a thriving culture of learning and professional development. Develop a mentorship program. Your senior leaders are subject matter experts. Give them that opportunity to learn to mentor, while at the same time training your workforce. And career progression. Always invest in succession planning, in talent management, in career progression, cross-training, cross-exposure, and regular career discussions. Career growth, in case you didn't know, is a top engagement strategy. The third part of the long-lasting engagement is the long-lasting effect. And I'm going to be discussing a few of my tips inside part 3. The first one is empowerment. Engaged employees are empowered employees. Give your team an opportunity to take the lead and volunteer solutions and improvements. People in general want to do a good job at work. And once an individual feels empowered, they will want to make the difference and go that extra mile. So allow them to go that extra mile. Valued and appreciated. People by nature want to feel connected, loved, appreciated, and valued. So some show it more than others. Different things drive different people. And money is not always the biggest way of showing someone that you appreciate them. Involved and feeling a sense of purpose and meaning. Humans draw meaning in life through work. If that work is a career, or even better, a calling, then you have hit the nail on the head. Help your team find their purpose at work. Are they building a brick wall or a temple of worship? Challenged in the right amounts. Are you under stress or under pressure? The latter is positive and helps you grow, and may also put you in a state of flow. I would recommend here to check out Multipliers by Liz Wiseman for more information. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I sincerely hope that you will use these guidelines for employee engagement. Remember, first you perform the litmus test, then you carry out your strategy, and finally keep carrying out the strategy for long-lasting and authentic engagement. A year may pass once you complete a cycle of these activities. Keep at it. Dedicate someone to be in charge of employee engagement and internal communications. I promise it's worth it. Oh, and let the world know what you're doing. It's good for employer branding, and it creates a sense of pride amongst your work floors and your employees. My name is Christina Vaneva, and I'm on a mission to inspire and promote happiness. Thank you for being with me. Until next time.